收看到的呢是由中央广播电视总台社教节目中心、湖北总站技术局联合武汉东湖新技术开发区管委会以及阿里巴巴中国有限公司打造的智慧光谷 CMG 世界机器人技能大赛首场机器狗任务赛的直播节目。我们的节目呢，除了大屏 CCTV10，您会看到在央视新闻、央视频、央视社教、央视财经、央视体育、央视网、CGTN 新媒体平台同步来进行直播。今天呢，演播室的现场呢，我们邀请到了机器人行业的2位相关专家为大家来介绍。清华大学计算机系的副研究员苏杭老师，欢迎您。
好，主持人好，大家好。
另外一位呢是北京交通大学的姚彦安教授，欢迎您。
Yao Yan'an from Beijing Zhejiang University, and for the interest of time, we will cut our introduction short. And let me ask you, what are your key focus today? Well, I'm mainly focused on whether our robots can accomplish the tasks in complex terrains. What about you, Mr. Yang? So I'm more focused on the sprinting speed of Black Panther 2.0, whether it can break a world record. And also you can see a QR code at the bottom right corner of our screen, and scan this code and you have the chance to get this mascot. Stay tuned to CMG Technology channel, and we're going to present you the fantastic competition. And so as is said by Yang, we are very much concerned by whether Black Panther 2.0 can break a world record of sprinting. Hi, Xiaolei. My name is Gao Zemin. I'm the anchor of CMG. Right now, I'm at the Optics Valley of China of Wuhan of Hubei province. And now we're going to witness a fantastic moment. So whether the robotic dog created by China can create a world record of speed. May I first give the floor to, I first extend a big round of applause to our students from Wuhan University of Engineering. As humankind, we are in this unstoppable pursuit of speed. And as the new era arrives, we have transferred our pursuit to robots, and we have some robotic dogs here, and let's bring them on the stage. This is looking good. Come this way. All right, he's having his own ideas. Hello. So my name is Jin Yongbin. I come from the Zhejiang University's High-Tech Innovation Center. And today we're going to show you what Panther 2 can do. So you call it Black Panther because it's in the color of black? Yes, and we call it Panther because we are in pursuit of speed. We hope that we can just catch up the speed of a leopard and reaching 30 meters per second. So when human beings are running, we have very thick legs, we are athletic, we have big legs. But what about your Panther? Well, this is a reasonable doubt. That is why we call it the Panther 2.0. And the point, Panther 1.0 was not able to compete human beings in terms of speed. But Panther 2.0 is a different story. Well, can we have a quick run of your Panther, and maybe you can show it to our audience? So you can see that we have a treadmill on the stage. So this robot is quite different from Black Panther 2.0. So this is the prototype. Yes. All right. We are going to take a look at the prototype of Panther and see how it performs on the treadmill. 3, 2, 1, go. Well, that's amazing. That's very fast. So what's going on? Well, this is actually very common in our laboratory. So how come the legs have broken? Well, in the early days of design, you can see that those tubes, they were independent, and so the torque is not actually connected, and it may seem that there are 3 separate tubes, but they are not connected. So you cannot multiply the intensity by 3. So this is just like our running shoes. It's actually very similar to sports cars, and you need to have a tire that is grabbing the floor, and so when the foot is not grabbing the floor, and it will become slippery, so it will lose balance. So that is why we have designed a special shoes for the Panther. So 6 meters per second, this is already superb. But why do you want to break that record? So we want to come up with a sophisticated system so that when we increase the speed, we can also strike a balance. Well, we saw a little accident where the leg has broken up into pieces, and now let's take a look at the next generation of Panther, and hold your breath, and let's take a look. 3, 2, 1, go. Well, let's cross our fingers. 3, 4, 5. And the numbers are going up. Oh my God. So is that broken? Well, tell us why there was this broken leg for the first generation of robots when it reaches a speed of 6 meters per second. Well, for the Panther, when it's running very fast and there is a very strong impact on the ground, so that means the legs, they have to be heavy enough. But when the legs are too heavy, number one, it will result in a very high load, and there will also be strong impact with the ground, and that is why you can hear the sound da da da. So when the speed is not very high, you don't feel this, but when the speed is going up, you can feel this very strongly. So we want to reduce the impact between the legs and the ground, so we have to reduce the weight of the legs so that it becomes strong and lightweighted. So when we were designing our first generation of Panther, we have been puzzled by this issue, and so whenever it reaches 6 meters per second, it will break. But we found out that there is a jumping mouse in the world, and so they weigh only 5 to 6 grams, and they have independent bones at the foot, which ensures flexibility. And so they have this metacarpal bone, which is independent, and so they spend their whole life jumping, and there is a lot of impact on the ground. So for 500 grams of mouse, and so when they have 3 integrated metacarpal bones, they can overcome the impact. So you can see that for the second generation of Panther, we actually integrated the bones together at the bottom. So this is quite different from the first generation. So from the material physics point of view, when you have 3 independent tubes, you can't resist the impact on the ground. But with this special structure, when we integrate all these 3 tubes together at the bottom, it will enhance the overall intensity. So that is why Panther 2.0 can run with the faster speed. So we have a overseas counterpart that has been maintaining the world record, which is 8.8 meters per second. And so Panther 2.0, under the engineering guidance of Professor Jin, will it break that record? Are you confident? Yes. So how about our audience? All right. We're going to move on to the second challenge. So after putting on this outfit, do I look more professional? Yes, of course, because this program is more dangerous, so we have to ensure the safety of our audience. So I won't bring on stage any volunteers. And I wanted to show you what real speed is like. All right, so let me step on this treadmill, and so you believe 6 meters per second is fast enough, but as an ordinary guy without professional training, how fast can you go? And I will have to hold this handrail, and you can just focus on the meter. And so if I think I have reached the limit, I will just give it up. All right, get this treadmill going, please. All right. So this is 1.5 meters per second, 2.0. How do you feel? Can you go faster? Yes, but little by little. 2.4, 2.5. Go up. 3.0. A little bit faster, please. 3.5. Faster. 4.0. Oh, take care. All right, we're slowing down. All right. So how far did I go? How fast did I go? 4.0. Well, I could go faster, but I'm losing my breath. And I think I can temporarily reach 4.5, but if I'm going to reach 6.0, I think it will be very difficult. All right, so we're going to set the challenge at 8.8 meters per second, and this is the record of the world for 10 years, and we're going to see whether Panther 2.0 can break this record. Go. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's fantastic. So our Panther 2.0 has just broken a 10-year world record of speed. So one thing that is very crucial is that we are working together with Wiggles. So this is a pendulum, and so they may seem very lightweighted, but we're putting them on the same balance. And so what is their frequency of pendulum? So they have to move either in the same direction or against the direction. So this is a physical law, and so you have to rely on a very light-weighted body. So when Huygens was on a maritime navigation, he accidentally discovered this law of physics, and he found out that given sufficient amount of time, these two independent pendulums, they will swing at the same pace or frequency as long as these two pendulums, they are placed upon the same platform, because the energy will transist in between these two pendulums, and they can either go in the same direction or go against each other's direction. So what about Panther 2.0? Well, the energy is actually transisting in between different parts of the body. So we have 4 legs, and we can make full use of this law of physics, so that even when it is a very small amount of electric shot, it will maximize the energy. So our controller understands how the body is working together and coordinating with the legs, so that we can truly resist the impact. In other words, the electricity of the back legs can facilitate the energy on the forelegs. Do you think we can challenge the limit of 10 meters per second? And will the legs break? I don't think so, because we have fully optimized this version of product. All right, I can see that Professor Jin is truly very confident, and let's test this out and see whether Panther 2.0 can break that limit. And I hope our audience can have a countdown, and I hope that you can count down from 10 to 1 when we reach the limit of 10 meters per second. All right.
Countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It seems in quite good shape. Yeah, the challenge is bigger, but the mission has been completely done. Are you thrilled? Yes. So it completed the mission, even though success was not a sure thing. And how do you feel right now? I'm a little relaxed. I was worried actually in the beginning. What's the difficult part about stability? If it can raise to 10 meters per second, we can do that in the short run, but to maintain that speed for the long term, it's very challenging. Allow me to share with you some statistics. The peak power is about negative 2,000 watts to 7,000 watts, and such a fluctuation may happen 50 times per 10 seconds. So it may hit up to 8,000 watts to the maximum, and for the entire electric system, it's a huge challenge. And for the Black Panther 2.0, we hope to improve its legs. So we restructured the legs, and the strengths of the 4 legs are already at the critical state, and under extreme load, the structural problems might be exposed. We keep searching for higher speed, more than 10 seconds per second. That's why. By relying on higher speed, we hope to expose all of the systemic problems, and with those problems, we will be able to solve them. Those unexpected issues would be avoided, and in that process, we would gain some new understanding and new findings. So that's why we kept searching for the extreme speed. 10 meters per second is truly difficult. So you tried to break the record indoors. Have you tried the outdoor environment? Of course, we can challenge the outdoor environment. Is anyone good at running and racing in our room? Self-introduction time. Hello everyone, I come from Wuhan Engineering University, Zhejiang University. I preferred running and jogging on a daily basis. I usually run for 5 to 10 kilometers per day with my classmates, and my goal is to apply for the marathon next year in Wuhan. So jogging is what you're good at. Long-term running, so you must be good at stability. What about the short distance race? I'm confident to try once. Are you good at running? In grade 1, I won the men's 100-meter race. I was the 8th place. Okay, the 8th place, quite courageous. What do you want to say to those scientists? We must pursue bigger and stronger. Well said. So that's the best wishes to everyone. So you got his message. Yeah, I would encourage myself for that purpose. My name is Bao Hailing. I come from Wuhan Engineering University. Do you have any good records? In primary school, I used to be a winner. In grade 3. This guy looks quite like a runner. I've come from the same university. My name is Li Tonghuan. From what I look, I'm pretty good at sports. Can you tell from his looks? Yes. What about your previous history? I used to be a champion in high school in throwing the balls. And in high school, I used to be the top 4 for race and field. So from primary school till now, and what's your best performance right now? I studied mechanical arm in my graduate years, so that's your profession. What about your 100-meter race? Pretty good. You all said you're good at the sports. I will consider recommending you to the sports. Are you ready, Panther? We are now outdoor. Together with Mr. Lee, we are going to have a race. Do you think you have a chance of winning? In the long-distance race, I might be the winner, but for 100 meters, I'm still a little worried. We will try our best to charge forward. This is a standardized running lanes, and it's 100 meters in distance, and get ready. Usually, Li Tonghuan can run about 100 meters in 15 seconds. Now let's see the competition. Countdown, 3, 2, 1, start. Very fast. Black Panther seems to be catching up. Now Black Panther is the winner. In the last 30 meters, Black Panther overtook Li Lunhuan to become the winner. It took Black Panther 13 seconds. And that's the end of this competition. Black Panther 2.2 is the winner. Congratulations. And how do you feel right now? It starts slowly. In the first 50 meters, I thought I could win over him, but in the second half, it raced very fast. I felt like I was chased by a dog. And no matter how hard I used my strength, I couldn't catch up with him. This is the rear legs. And those are the front legs, quite different. The rear legs are wearing the screw shoes, and usually it uses the rear legs to use strength, and the front two legs are mainly responsible for adjusting direction. If I used the screws to equip the forelegs, there might be some friction against this field. So that's like a buffer for the front legs. And under different environment, you might choose different shoes. And what's the peak speed just now? 9.7 meters per second. Within a limited distance, Black Panther didn't actually give his best shot. Usually at the outdoor environment, the maximum speed could be 10.9 meters per second. That's extreme, yes. Maybe after several generations of iteration, the Black Panther could really be as fast as the real Panther. We would try our best. Thank you, Yongbing, for coming to our show. We hope that Black Panther could continue to break new records. Welcome back to our show. We have two experts with us. Let's review the highlights. Black Panther 2.0 could race to 10.4 meters per second, and by that calculation, it's about 37 kilometers per hour. It's almost approaching the level of So Ying-Tian. For the ordinary people, it's truly overwhelming. And high speed is just one of our indicators. To truly be so fast, there must be a lot of parameters to support it. Through high speed, the robotic dogs have to conquer 5 technical problems. First, flexibility. Second, power. So the engine must be very strong. And third, senses. It must be agile in the 5 senses. It must see clearly, and the sensors must be able to perceive it. And also, the gesture must be well controlled in order to be stable. So it must be able to control its gravity in order not to fall. And finally, quick decision making. So behind the racing speed, there are 5 systems to support it. And also for one robotic dog, we need a lot of relevant disciplines to support its technology. And what are those? First, the hardware system. So it needs some mechanical strength. Secondly, it needs a smart brain. So there must be some controlling computer system like AI to support it. And finally, energy. In order for the robotic dog to run fast, it must be supported by strong power. So with comprehensive support, the robotic dog could come to today. So running fast is just the superficial phenomenon. It needs a lot. Sometimes you need bionics, discipline to support it, yes. For example, just like horses and dogs, we might need some bionic design in order to make it reasonable. Interestingly, we call this dog robotic dog. And the 4 robotics in the future will evolve together just like the other creatures because of the evolving environmental changes. There might be diversion of the 4 different groups of robots. And what will be the future like? It depends on the tasks. For example, if robotic dogs are flexible, they are good for detection. For the horses, they could bear heavy load. For the goats, they are good at climbing mountains. So, for different tasks, they may have different strengths. Those are not just our imagination. It's already under studies. Yes. For example, heavy load. In the Xinjiang Plateau, we could have such a robot, just like the yak, carrying heavy loads on their backs. In the past 3 years, in the robotic field, the progress we have made far outweigh what we have in the past. So those are the developments brought by robotic technology. Quite punk, actually. The robotic dog, robotic cats, cows, and goats will be there with us. Now, following that rhetoric, let's turn to another field. Like Professor Su said, in a complex environment, how could the robotic dog to be truly independent helpers of men? And to some degree, they could be the expansion of the human capabilities. That's a very important topic. So now let's continue to watch the show. Hello, everyone. We are in the first robotic dog competition in the World Robot Competition. I am Tu Hua. Welcome. It's raining slightly outdoor, but it's not going to be an obstacle for our competition. And we are now in the China Weapons Limited Corporation. For every team, there are 2 robotic dogs for this competition, and there will be the comprehensive search and rescue capability contest. And also we have a commentator with us from Shandong University, Professor Zhang Guoteng. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hello everyone, my name is Zhang Guoteng. We saw the excellent performance of the Black Panther. We were really thrilled to see that. And on our part, we also have a lot to offer. First of all, there are 2 runways, and for every competition, there will be multiple challenges for those candidates. Now let's welcome the 2 teams to march on this field. We can hear the barking. The robotic dogs are stepping on. Welcome to our competition. Please say hello to our audience. Let me interview you guys. Which one is the team leader? Step forward, please. Welcome. What's your slogan for this show? We are the pioneering team. Our slogan is to make breakthroughs towards the finishing line to search and rescue. We're the warrior wolf team. Our slogan is we will accomplish our mission. You seem both very confident. And what will be your performance today? The first test will begin. Now, allow me to introduce about the rules, the scoring rules. For the comprehensive obstacle contest, the two teams will control the dogs to complete the obstacle avoidance task. And since the starting time, we will start timing, and the dogs will have to complete the certain obstacle avoidance. And when they come to the materials section, this timing will be ended, and we will measure their total timing. And behind us, those are the runways. In order to win, what do you need to be prepared? First of all, the hardware. Reliability matters. The robotic dogs must be strong enough, especially in the raining day and the complex environment. There are some fire scenarios. Those are very demanding. And secondly, algorithm. They must be smart enough in order to adapt to different scenarios and adapt themselves with algorithms. Thirdly, coordination between the controller and the dogs, so as to ensure the man-machine interaction. So those are exactly what we are waiting for. They will determine the final results. Now let's watch a short video before we start the timing.
So when a natural earthquake comes, every second counts. So when there is a landslide, there is a very unstable structure. In a scenario of debris, how do you ensure dynamic balance? How do you overcome the ditches and valleys in front of you? So we have some stair steps. How do we ensure that there are steady steps on top of those terrains? When the building collapses, how do we overcome such terrain? They might become an obstacle, but some of the rocks can become your stepping stones. And let's take a look at how XT70 performs on those terrains. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And so we have elevated the level of difficulty, and we are talking about very slippery ground, and also there is a higher requirement in terms of water resistance. Yes, and this is uncertainty and unknown environment, but whether we can meet the challenge. Hold your breath, and let's bring on stage our first team, which is the Wolf Warrior. On a countdown of 3, 2, 1, let's go. Wolf Warrior is ready to astonish all of us. And this is a designated lane, and it's not easy to make sure that each and every step of yours is well within your designated lane, because this is very narrow lane. And we'll make turns. It's very difficult, and we have a lot of sharp angles. And now this is the first obstacle, and this is just like the debris of an earthquake, and you can see that we have a lot of debris. All right, this is doing very well, and this is the first pass overcome, and this is the ramp with a gradient of 20 degrees, and this is a ditch, and that is 40 centimeters wide, and you can see that it's made a slight jump and passed this obstacle, and also there is a ramp going down, and then there is a stair. For human beings, this is very easy, but for robotic dogs, this is not the case because the ground is also very slippery. And all right, Wolf Warrior is doing fantastic and is not taking a rest. And this is another obstacle where our robotic dog has to crawl beneath. All right, it's navigating itself very well, and we have come to the last obstacle, and you can see a lot of wooden piles, and this is mimicking the forest during landslide or earthquake, and the dog has to identify obstacles and avoid them. And you can see that the parameter of turns is very small, and all right, it has successfully landed at the designated finishing spot. All right, Wolf Warrior spent 2 minutes 20 seconds to accomplish this task. So where does Wolf Warrior stand at the global level? Well, I think this is excellent and even world-leading. And you can see that this is truly astonishing, and this is only the first team. And now let's take a look at the second team, the Mechanic Frontier. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Mechanic Frontier has started, and this is a short turn, and it's raining actually. So the raining weather will make it all the more difficult because we have a lot of right angles, and the ground will become more slippery. But this is well beneath the Mechanic Frontier, and you can see that this is the debris, and you can see that our robot has passed this terrain, and this is the ramp, and then this is a ditch that is 40 centimeters wide. And now he has come down the ramp, and he's not taking any rest, and he's now standing in front of the stairways, and I think he's analyzing the situation, and he is adjusting his steps and the angles of his body so that he can avoid falling over the stairway. And so this is actually a very sophisticated scenario, and he did it just perfectly. And now he has to crawl through beneath a channel that is 50 centimeters tall, and so in real emergency response scenarios, and you have to crawl through a tunnel, and so this is mimicking the forest in a situation of landslide and earthquake, and you can see we're testing the obstacle avoidance capability of the dog, and you can see that it's looking for the right angle, navigating itself perfectly, and this is a perfect pass. And now the Mechanic Frontier has come to the final spot. Fantastic. It took him only 2 minutes and 10 seconds to accomplish this task, and this is just wonderful. And the rain is getting bigger, but it's performing even better. And talking about rescue robots, we have some robots on the wheel. We also have humanoid robots. But in comparison, what are the advantages of robotic dogs? Well, it has better passing capabilities and performances, regardless of the terrain, and it has 4 legs, which means that it is more stable than a human being or a humanoid robot. So we have very intense challenges one after another. And you can see that passing through different terrains one by one, and this is the real scenario of a earthquake, of a landslide. So our robots, they will not be able to anticipate the terrain and challenges, and this is just like in real life challenges, where you can never anticipate what the difficulties are in front of you. All right, let's have a recap. And so in this first challenge, the Wolf Warrior finished at 2 minutes 20 seconds, and the Mechanic Frontier won by 10 seconds, and it's finished at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Let me ask the teams behind Wolf Warrior, and you're 10 seconds behind, and are you confident in winning over your competitor in a second challenge? Yes, no problem. And this is getting fierce, and you all hear the siren because right behind me there is a fire scene, and we have to send our two robotic dogs to the site because some people there are awaiting their rescue. Without further ado, let's get into our second rescue scene. So, in a situation of a fire, rescue people, they become our last hope, and technology is making this all the more possible, and it matters in terms of resupplying those trapped, and it can also break the human limit. But there are explosives and there are combustibles, but whether our dogs can identify the danger, and if they are carrying infrared free, and they can see through walls, and they can see through mists and darkness, and they can also identify the very weak breath of those trapped in the disaster. And so XT70 is here, and we hope that it can truly make a big difference. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the second challenge, and you can see that we have replicated a very immersive scene of a fire emergency, and this is an area that is 5 times bigger than the first challenge. So we have multiple obstacles, and I can feel the danger and the toxic gas of a fire emergency, and so it's getting more and more difficult and more challenging. So what are the performances that we are testing in this challenge? Let's take a look at the rules, and we are dividing the contestants in teams, and they will be dispatched into the site to accomplish the rescue mission. When the beep starts, the game starts, and the trapped people, they have to be evacuated to a safe zone. And also the robotic dogs, they need to go through mists and scan the dangerous source heat, and they also need to come back safely at the designated spots. So this is the first time that we have to interact with human victims trapped in the fire. And all right, we have 2 robots ready to start this challenge. 3, 2, 1, go. So after the whistle, you can see that this robot is ready. And so this is a dog entering a fire scene, and it has climbed a stair and no problem. And you can see that in this room we have a lot of objects piled up, and also we have goods hidden in a pile which are marked combustibles, and so it will have to perform a squash so as to signal us that it has identified a inflammable. And you can see that in the future it will be mounted with fire rescue equipment, and it has identified the first inflammable. And look, it has just identified another. So you can see that we just hide the labels of combustible and inflammable in this pile of very scattered objects. How come the robots can identify them? Well, this is because the dog is mounted with a lot of sensors and cameras, and it can see through different objects and then identify the real danger or the source of heat and fire. And so this is a dog mounted with a pre-modeled sensor. So we have three sources of danger. Look at the dog, and the dog has just identified the third inflammable source. And so imagine when this dog is dispatched with the human rescue worker, and then the fireman can catch the signal and can make sure that the source of danger is eradicated. And now the dog is entering the second pass, which is a very long hallway filled with smoke and mist. So, well, we do have heavy smoke on site, and this is a scene that you encounter all the time in fire rescue missions. And so you can see that given this dense mist and fog, and some of the cameras mounted on the dog, they will go dysfunctional, but we have laser, and we also have infrared ray sensor mounted on the dog. So you can see that we have identified a victim trapped in the building. So the dog has to identify the source of heat, basically the object with the highest temperature. So in this scenario, your visual may be lost, and so you have a heat camera mounted on your body, and so basically that allows you to understand which object is giving you the most heat, so that you can formulate an image in your brain. And you can see that our dog is staring at a bucket-shaped object, and so with this simple squat, it's signaling us that it has identified the heat of danger. And you can see that Wolf Warrior has maintained this very stable performance, because the heat of the source of heat may jeopardize objects and people nearby. And so if a fireman is dispatched with such a robot, then we can significantly enhance the success rate of rescue mission, and the overall efficiency is also significantly improved. It will save a lot of human labor and also protect the safety of human rescue workers, and it can reach places where it is impossible for human beings to reach. And you can see that after this obstacle, it's entering another obstacle, and so it's approaching the human victim that is trapped in fire. And you can see that it's still walking with this very steady gesture, and so we just tested how reliable the robot is in passing through mists and heavy smoke. You have to give very steady steps. All right, our robotic dog is walking, and you can see that he's actually walking towards a human victim that is trapped in this fire. And so this is a young man this is a young man that is curled up in a corner and fantastic. And bear in mind that our robot is carrying some mask, and in emergencies, it can truly deliver the difference of life and death. And in a fire, under fire, and you can cover your mouth and nose with a wet towel, and so this is just the first step. And up next, the dog has to guide the human victim to a safe outdoor place. So, Mr. Zhang, if I got this right, the dog will walk back along the same route. Well, yes, because it's walking in an unknown environment, and it's marking and learning the situation. And right now, after reaching this point, it knows what is the best path to the outside. And although when there are obstacles, the robot is able to correct its path. And so this is just fantastic. And you can see this flickering light on the robot. And this is just like a glimpse of hope conveyed to human victims. It's very important because it can guide the victims out through the dangerous environment. And you can see that the robot is walking out of the dangerous scene, and so it's getting closer to where we are. And you can see that it's walking at the reasonable pace, and it's not walking too fast, because it has to take into consideration the normal walking pace of human beings, and because it's leading a human victim out of the harm's way. And all right, you can hear this whistle, and congratulations to Wolf Warrior. Now let's take a look at the time, and it took Wolf Warrior 9 minutes 50 seconds to accomplish this challenge. So within 10 minutes, this is so many different challenges, and it has led the trapped human victim into a safe spot. And so how do you compare that to competitors around the world? So it's very hard, and what's most important is that you have accomplished this task, and I think we're among the first to accomplish such task globally.
Every move forward and every breakthrough we made and every second that we shorten is an effort for us to shorten the distance between man and robotic dog. We try to make new historic records. Now, this is our best show, 9 minutes and 50 seconds. And also, the frequencies of the dogs look quite similar to real dogs. That's thanks to the bionics. Yes, for robotic dogs, their gaits and their leg structures are quite simulating the real hunting dogs. And we also equip them with some sensors and controllers on their bodies. There are many cameras mounted on them. Those are just like the eyes of the robotic dogs. Also, radar could give out the rays, just like the sound waves sent by the bats. So the dogs are like carrying the ears of a bat. And also we have some smell sensors. They can sense the surroundings, just like the snakes. Like the snakes, they can tell the smells. The robotic dogs are not here to replace the rescue dogs. Instead, it combines the strong legs of the rescue dogs, the eyes, and the smell senses of the snake, the hearing capabilities of a bat. So that's not just a replacement of real dogs. It's unprecedented in nature. And in the rescue side, it's a superhero. just now in the first fire rescue competition. It completed with a result of 9 minutes. And what about the armor and pioneering team? We can see very strong smoke coming out, and the temperature is shooting up. Now, the second team, the armor and pioneer team, is going to confront more severe and tough environment. Can this team truly be a pioneer? Together, we have a 3 seconds countdown, and then we will start. 3, 2, 1, start. Now the countdown begins, and the timing is started. The second team, robotic dog, starts its rescue, and this is gonna the last round for this dog. The robotic dog enters into this scenario, and it's trying to pass the first test about the explosives. It has to identify the explosives. Minutes ago, our directors redesigned those positions of those materials in order to have a fair playing ground. And the robotic dog has identified a logo about explosives. It's trying to reaffirm, to confirm. So it's lowering down its body to confirm. Still, I'm wondering, Professor Zhang, robotic dogs have image recognition, and that's reliant on algorithms. With the controller's observation with naked eyes, 1 + 1 would be more than 2, right? Yes. We have some probability categorization equipped within the robotic dog, and with the controller's observation, the accuracy ratio would be bigger. Behind the column, the robotic dog is identifying all of the 3 explosives. The whistle blows, that means it passed. Now the second test, smoky corridor. Again, now it needs to use its radar system to identify. An accident. It scratches its shoulders on the wall, so it has to readjust its moves. In that contest, that accident was actually lovely. The look of the robotic dog and its movements are still conveying the message that the robotic dog is still confident and composed in such a disaster environment. The dog is moving, and based on what I observed, it's not walking very in a straightforward way. Maybe that's because it's heavy smoke compared to the last team. And the next task is to find the heating source. Heavy smoke was disturbing the robotic dog, so it's difficult to tell the direction. Possibly the dog is trying to take a perfect turn before entering into the room, but it hesitated. It almost entered into the wrong room. And now it comes to the third task. This room is home to the heating source. And for your information, we have 3 heating sources. We need the dog to identify all of them before the next test begins. The thermal imaging technology is used, and what are the scenarios for its application right now? For example, the cameras with no light in the surroundings. The thermal imagery technology can sense. We watched some documentaries. In the darkness, we need to use the infrared camera to take photos. And this robotic dog is that smart too. Now it's trying to confirm the first heating source. And as to the module concept, Professor, for the robotic dog, what does it mean as to the modules? Do you have to change the brains based on different modules for the dog? So the dog is using its own brains. And the modules are like different instruments. Just like in the operational room, there are different tools to use. And with the visual support, like the eyes, that's one instrument. And we may add the shooting gun to shoot out the water. That would be another module. There is an animation called Paw Patrol. I know you must have watched this movie since you were little, and we saw so many animated dogs with high skills to rescue people out of danger. And now for the robotic dogs, if embedded with different modules, 3 to 5 dogs could be very strong rescuers. Exactly. There are different models. First one is recognition. The front dog would be the leader. For the leading dog in the group, we could equip it with the best possible resources like algorithm. For the other dogs, they would follow the leader in such a rescue task, just like in the wolf family. We may also follow the model of birds. The birds can fly freely and change their formations. There would be no collision between the different birds. Even in the highly dense forests, they could change their formations to avoid conflicts between them. So in terms of the high intelligence of the group of robotic dogs, you also use the bionic technology like copying the birds and the wolves. Yes. While we were talking, this robotic dog has passed our test again. Now the final test would be about identifying the trapped person and carrying the materials and rescue. There would be close contact with the wall, but it's okay. Now it comes to the last room. It's trying to find the trapped people. It's thinking now, making judgments. Such judgments are made based on not just the images sent by the cameras, but also the thermal imagery. The chair is blocking its way. That's okay. The tracked person is able to walk to this robotic dog, taking out the materials, the facial masks. Because the reason that there are some people injured in the fire scenario is not just about the burnt possibilities, but also the gas. The gas and the heavy smoke might lead to 80% of casualties. So, because of CO2 contents in the air and the lack of oxygen in the air, as well as the over content of toxic gases, those are the causes for death. The environment is very tough. Robotic dog is taking care of this injured person by guiding the direction. Robots at the bionic stages usually has to endure several environments. Now this dog imitates the gaits and the outlooks of real dogs, so it moves just like a dog. And at the second stage, it's gonna be different, which means although it simulates the dogs, it's more than dogs. And the third stage is featured by resembling the dogs. Let's wait a moment. That's a very important moment. The trapped person is coming to our site. And congratulations. So you accomplished this task. Now, let's wait before we expose the results. Within 10 minutes, if you can accomplish this task, you will win. So let's see if you kept your time within 10 minutes. We're going to do the calculation, and then we're going to move outdoors for the final result reveal. See you. Now let's give a big hand to both teams. You accomplished all of those tests. That's truly wonderful and meaningful. Up till today, July the 6th, worldwide, we are the first one competition of its kind. So in every such contest, we are trying to break new historical record about man-machine interaction. And now, let's review the results. For the wolf team, 2 minutes, 20 seconds, 48, and then 6 minutes, and the final timing was 12 minutes. And for the second team, the armor pioneering team, 10 seconds, 17 in the first test, and in the fire rescue session, it takes them 11 minutes, 59 seconds. The final result was 14 minutes. So let's congratulate the wolf team to be the winner. Congratulations. That's our first show for the robotic dogs to win. Now let's invite the winner to share something with us. I'm pleased to be the winner of this contest, but this is not the end. It's the starting point for the robotic dogs to walk on the side of the fire rescue. I hope they could make bigger achievements in the future scenarios. I'm sure about that. And you're the commentator, Professor. After watching this contest, what are you feeling right now? As a practitioner in robotics, watching this show enables me to be more confident about China's future industry. And we will remember this moment and this confidence. Every step forward made by those robotic dogs is actually about the efforts made for the entire mankind and the robotic dogs. That's about this contest. Back to the showroom in Beijing.
Well, welcome back to the CMG World Robot Skills Competition, and welcome back to our studio. We have two professors joining us at the studio. We call it the competition because we do have very sophisticated tasks, and so I want to ask you, Professor, so what is your rate on their performance? And you can see that they navigated through these obstacles and then reached the trapped victim. And what are the most difficult part? Well, because this is an environment with a lot of uncertainties, and we want to see what are the spontaneous reactions of these robots. And so if we're talking about the pet dog, a pet dog can do a lot of things, but it's mainly placed under an environment that is predictable and that is known. But we place this robotic dog in a totally unpredictable, unknown environment. That means we need to have a robotic dog that can understand and perceive the environment. And you can see that we have debris, we have a lot of obstacles, and the dog has to navigate itself through this very sophisticated terrains, and it has to respond spontaneously to the unknown environment. So we have to make it very clear to our audience, and those dogs, they were not operated by a remote control. These dogs, they were not programmed in advance. So actually, yes, those dogs, they are relying on their own algorithms. It is professional algorithm. It is self-adaptive, just like a human being. And traditionally, you might believe that only human beings have such capability. But right now, this capability has come to the dog that is robotic. So when these dogs, they have such autonomous capabilities, so to a certain extent, is that right to say that they have outperformed human beings in certain aspects? Yes, you can definitely say that, and they are performing much better in certain scenarios. For example, they can better analyze the environment, and our pet dogs, they can smell the environment, but we can have much advanced sensors mounted on the robotic dog so that the mechanic dog can perform even better. So when a pet dog gets hit by a rock, it will get hurt, but the robotic dog will not suffer such a problem, so it can have very effective responses. So we were talking this while watching their performance, and so you may wonder, so whether a mechanic dog can truly rescue a trapped person, and we know that that person is not injured, but if we're talking about a victim that has lost some basic functions, can we still rescue the trapped person? Well, bear in mind that we can dispatch a fireman together with the robotic dog, and so we can be a team of multiple persons and many dogs, and that's a robotic. And some of the dogs, they can see better, some they can analyze the situation better, some they can carry a lot of loads, so they can just work together with human beings, and then together we can conduct the rescue mission in a more effective way. With that comes to a new question, and so with one robotic dog, it's an independent system. It can do autonomous learning. But if we are talking about teamwork among these robotic dogs, and if they can communicate with each other using their algorithms or brain power, so how things will become in the future? Well, I think this is what we can imagine going forward. By comparison, machines are much better in many ways. For example, in coordination, amongst the different single units. And we're talking about the survival of the fittest, and this is what organic life can do. But natural life evolve very slowly. And if we are talking about the robotic life, they can definitely be more effective in coordinating their brain power, and they can perceive the environment better, and they can control their bodies more effectively. And so this is actually a lot more easier for robots. So I believe this will mark the next step of evolution for robots, and they can maybe share one brain on the cloud and coordinate the movement of different units. So when human beings work together, it's very powerful, but I think the same applies to robots. And if they can do that, they are creating an ecosystem, and they are affecting this changing relationship between human and robots. Well, yes, I believe they have to be obedient, and when they become much smarter, they will be able to automatically make independent decisions, and they believe that they have outsmarted you, and maybe they will not listen to your command. Well, this is a question that we have to take into consideration, and maybe one day they will become our opponents. So yes, with them getting smarter, the relationship between human and robots will change. Well, I believe we have to talk about symbiosis and coordination, and where do you envision the future of our relationships to be? Well, I think this will be a relationship of coexistence. I believe in the future, human beings and robots can work together to accomplish some tasks. You can see from the competition, if a fireman can work together with the robots, then the rescue efficiency can significantly enhance. And also we have a lot of pet dogs, for example. And we have the guide dog, which can help human beings. And we can also imagine that robotic dogs can facilitate human beings. I believe in the future we will be working together, facilitating each other. But I also have the concern that how do we ensure that human beings are always in control of the robots? And I believe that all the questions that we ask and we discuss here, they have to be solved in a process of development. Well, right now, robots are changing the way of life, and in the future, we have to constantly ensure that the human beings are in control, and maybe robots will change the way human beings has been for millions of years. And if robotic dogs enter our home, and they can accomplish many different tasks, and so are they part of our assets, or are they our partners, or are they the extension of our capabilities? If a robotic dog beats a pet dog, so how do you define the liability and responsibility? So what are the rules that we need to follow in defining the liabilities of different parties involved? Well, we don't hold the answers to these questions, but we want to create a platform where you can explore these questions, and the future is already here. The question I shall ask all of you is that, are you ready to bring a new robotic member to your family? Are you ready to embrace the changes to be brought by technology? Thank you very much to our two professors, and I hope that you can give it some thoughts, and you can scan this barcode at the bottom right corner of the screen, and you have the chance to get this toy, and you can stay tuned to our program. Keep exploring and stay tuned to our program, and this is the studio part, and stay tuned to CMG World Robot Competition. Thank you very much to our guests. Thank you very much. Hi, Xianglei. Right now, I'm at the Optics Valley of Hubei province's Wuhan, and you can see that behind me we have a sand screen which is using panoramic graphics, and you can see that we have many different elements. We have the horse wagons, and we also have clocks. And later, Zhang Baichun, researcher at the Institute of the History of Natural Sciences, will come here and give you more introduction. So mechanics have been with us for some time, and so let's take a look. Since time immortal, human beings have imagined to create a robot just like human beings, and they can mimic human beings, and they can excel in certain aspects, and they can undertake dangerous tasks. The ancient Chinese, they are very imaginative, and Lu Ban, the famous carpenter in the 5th century BCA, is said to have created this automatic horse wagon, and history record shows that similar creations were crafted by Lu Ban. Ma Jun, an inventor in the Three Kingdoms period, came up with such inventions of compass and other utensils. And then someone asked Ma Jun, can you make this horse wagon move? And then Ma Jun said yes. So he was using water turbines and wheels using hydraulic power. He is propelling the wheel, and so he can also come up with very sophisticated moves, for example, dancing and music instrument playing, and also shooting an arrow. So using this hydraulic power, he can present many different performances, and that took place in the 3rd century BC, and that was quite astonishing at that period of time. And in North Song Dynasty, Su Song and his subordinate Han Gonglian, they designed a very sophisticated hydraulic power station, and you can see that in this utensil we have rickshaws powering a humanoid too. And in the 13th century, Europeans came up with the first mechanic clock. And using the clock as the basis, the Europeans, they came up with many toys, for example, animated human beings and animals. And but in essence, they were mechanics. And missionaries, they brought the European clocks to China, and at the invitation of Chinese emperors, they designed multiple utensils for display. For example, we have a humanoid robot that can write on a piece of paper. This is like the early prototype of printers. So from Central Asia to Europe, human beings have never stopped imagining about a mechanic future, and those fantastic imaginations and inventions open the door for robotics in the future. So we're now at the studio of the program about robot competition, and so we're gonna give you a closer look about how those people prepare for a fantastic show that combines human beings with AI intelligence. So we have to embed intelligence into robots. When Leibniz showed to human beings the power of a binary system. And when Chinese inventors came up with such sophisticated creations, scientists and technicians from both East and West have contributed to the advancement of human civilization. So how Qinqiang, the fantastic Chinese music, combines with modern AI intelligence. So this is a AI embedded music conductor commanding the performance of a famous Chinese classic. So now we have come to the main control room of the stage. You can see that the rehearsal is going on the stage, and the imagery is both mysterious and mind-blowing. And let me ask Ms. Jing, share with us your takeaway over the past few years. And we have been working together with technicians and engineers to integrate all the different elements, and we want to present the best to our audience. We want to showcase a fantastic performance. So we are using many different elements through acrobats and dancers, which are actually messengers in this show. We can truly demonstrate a story that is across time and space. Eventually, all the different elements will come together so as to showcase the immense power of technology. And also, the twisted gear, they also represent time. And actually, we have taken a glimpse into the future, and the future is already here, and we are looking forward to your fantastic performance. Thank you very much. All right, get ready. 3, 2, 1. Visual. So this is the waiting area, and the robots, they are taking a rest here, and they will get ready before they move on to the stage. So in the backstage, so it's quite a different scene, and all the performers, they are robots. And take a look at this first robot. This is a robot for surgery. And the second performer, a robotic dog, and it's going through some final round of configuration adjustments, and we have all types of robots, and you can see that they are getting ready to to the stage, and we hope that they can give us their very best performance on the stage. And this is the result of many engineers after days and months, and we hope that they can continue working very hard for a better future of human beings integrated with robots. And so later you will see a part of our performance where children work together with robots on a stage to give us a fantastic performance.
Thank you for the song. Welcome back to our site of live show. You are now watching the CMG World Robot Competition in Optics Valley. I am the CMG reporter Xu Hanli. Right now, through CCTV 10, the Science Channel, CCTV News, CCTV Video, Finance, Sports, and CGTN New Media to be shown. Thank you for watching, and now we are in the Hubei Humanoid Robots Innovation Center. There is a cluster of robotic companies here, and also this is the supporter of this competition. Now I'm going to take you into this venue. Let's try to explore more about the intelligence level of robotics. And we have experienced commentator with us, Fang Meiling. Welcome. Please say hello to our audience. Hello everyone, my name is Fang Meiling. I am a commentator in this innovation center. I am eager to start our journey. Could you please introduce to us about this innovation center? The Hubei Humanoid Robots Innovation Center is the largest and most complete innovation center in central China. There are 3 floors in this exhibition with 7,000 square meters. We have created 24 real scenarios. I'm looking forward to the 24 scenarios. And there is a red-colored humanoid robot walking towards us. What's it for? It's for interactive intelligence. It's a Gen AI with a large language model embedded for human communication. It can do 24 facial expressions. So maybe it can be used for rehabilitation and a company by offering emotional value. Exactly. Now let's move forward. I will take you to watch the parts and the finished robots. That is to say, in our show, we have watched a lot of finished robots, and now we're going to look at the partial parts. Yes, I'm wondering what they look like. Here, those are the finished robots and skeletons and the skins and different parts, the upper limbs and the lower limbs. Now let's compare our hands. Almost the same size as my hand, yes, quite like man's hand, and such a hand has very flexible joints, very delicate. On the right side of this wall include some locally made parts of the humanoid robots. As you can find, some enterprises have the Optics Valley logo with a lotus flower logo. Aside from the names of those enterprises, that is the logo of the Optics Valley. Hubei province has created several exemplary robots. Let's take a look on the big screen, on the curved screen. First of all, the Central Science and Technology University brought us a dragon series of robots, quite typical of Hubei province, yes. The second example is led by academician Chen Xuedong. It has a name called Dazhuang. Let me guess why. It must be very big in size, like 1.8 meters high. Yes. And the third team was bringing us 2 robots. One is called Tianwen. And this robot was created by the Beijing Polytech University. It's called Chubao. The next robot is 1.69 meters high. That's the same one shown in the hall, colored in red. Now we're going to take an elevator, and before that we will show you a short video. Welcome back. How was the AI robot performance? Excellent. We have more to offer. Please stay with us. You might be curious about where we are. It's a change of location. We seem to be standing in a supermarket. It's one of the scenarios Mei-Ling has introduced. This is a supermarket scenario. And what will the robots bring us in this scenario? Now let's have a look. In floor 3, we have some data collection site and movements collection site. Now our data collector is using this tool to train the robot to pick up from the shelves. Very accurate gesture. If the robot uses too much strength, the chips might explode from the bag. Yes, After some time of training, we will have an area for the showcase of the results. After training, the robot can put those goods in the bag autonomously. Precise throwing. It's not quite an innovative job, so I think the robots can do the job as a replacement. I'm really looking forward to see a robot cashier person in the future. That's quite interesting. Another scenario over there is accommodation. It's the lobby of a hotel. I'm very familiar with that scenario. In that scenario, the robots can help customers to do the luggage checking. It's heavy workload and it's quite a premium situation for the robots to do the job. Let's see that with the remote control, our staff is controlling the robot. So the robot can drag this suitcase to move everywhere. What about that robot? That's the front reception desk. It can pass the tissue and water to our customers. Can it pass me a cup of water? Of course. Hello there, I need a cup of water, a bottle of water. Thank you. Awesome. That's the first time for me to pick up a bottle of water given by a robot. Very considerate. This hotel scenario gives me some goosebumps. So many daily scenarios can be realized. Next, coffee shop. That's my favorite. In the coffee shop, the agile arms could be used to make coffee. This agile hand is exactly the one we saw downstairs on the wall. It can make coffee. That's really stunning. Let's move on. This robot is passing us some snacks. What about the next scenario? The milk tea. Pretty like a coffee shop, so it can make some milk tea and give it to us. Exactly. Over there, a robot is right now making the milk tea. Now cafeteria, the convenient shops. We just have been to the supermarket. What about the specialty of these convenience stores? It can make some instant food, for example, heating our food in a microwave. That's really cool. So now the robot can prepare some food like oden, Canton cooking. Now let's do this. Can I have a sandwich? And now the robot is working, opening the door of the microwave, very flexible. It picks up our sandwich, successfully put it in the microwave. Now close the door. It's quite a simple movement. The other hand will press the button. The most challenging thing is that it has to set up the time. How much time do we have to wait? 10 seconds. It pressed the button with that hand. Now the door is open again. Can it pass the sandwich to me? Thank you very much. Now, my sandwich is heated by a robot. That's truly fun. Now let's move to the next scenario. You told me about the cafeteria. So the food can be cooked in the cafeteria by robots. In the cafeteria, the robots can be the waiter or the waitress to give the food to the customer. So it's setting the table now. Those are some business scenarios. We also have some industrial scenarios. There are two examples. The first one is the warehouse. It can carry the commodities. The second example is about the industrial line. So the industry might be the most frequented scenarios by robots. And plenty of robots have already been used in the industry. For example, mechanical arms have been applied on a large scale, taking up 60 to 70% in the industry. And the robot is loading the commodities, and something special here is the whiteboard. In many scenarios, I've observed such a whiteboard. Every scenario has one whiteboard, and what's it used for? Our collectors have some tasks every day, so here we could record the tasks every day. So the collectors keep training the robots and keep track of those training on the whiteboard. Yes, we need the students to support this training process. So make no mistakes, dear audience. It's not like the controllers are controlling or playing with the robots. They are actually training the robots through the big data training. And after these scenarios, we also have some home appliance and furniture scenarios. This is a tea break area. It's very comfy here. We have a simple training right now. Open the fridge and put some food in the fridge. So in the future, you don't need to do that job on your own in the future. Next, some other training sessions are happening. What's this about? Drawing the curtains? Yes, it's drawing the curtains for us. So in the future, it can be used in the scenario like rehabilitation or old age care. For the old people with limited moving capabilities, drawing curtains can be done by the robots. And after training that movement, the robots can do a lot more similar moves. Another home scenario is about folding the clothes, ironing the clothes, cleaning up, and organizing. We do need such a function. Now let's turn our camera to see what is the robot doing in the homes. This one is trying to collecting the toys on the table in the buckets. Moms do need such a function. Usually after playing with the toys, the room would be messy. Next, I'm truly looking forward to one specific scenario about folding and ironing the clothes. Our data collector is trying to train the robot to iron the clothes. Can I try this function? I think it's quite necessary for me. Just wear it on your neck. Like this? Yes. Hold this handle. Face this robot. And next. Press this button for 2 seconds. Try to position this handle and press this button on the side so the arms can move by following your gesture. How can I let the robot to grasp? The agile hand can grasp and grab. If you want the arm to move outward this way, how can I get the hand back? Like this? Suddenly I feel like I am playing some games in the toy store, grabbing those toys in the machine. How to grab? This is the button. I did it. I grabbed the ironing machine and I keep pressing this button. I'm sorry for that. So I have to keep pressing this button. It's not the robot's problem, it's my fault. How to let out the steam from this ironing machine?
So it takes some time to get the water to the right temperature, but I think my movement is right. This is truly feeling very good. I still cannot see the steam. It may take a while. Truly, this is like a big toy, and it's lovely. And what's important is that this big toy can truly help get things done. And I can see the steam now. So, Mei-Ling, how am I doing? Fantastic, because our data collector, they need to go through some training. I failed just now, but see, I'm ironing on this part flat. I have to move it to the left. I may ask for some help, and be very careful, and because this is burning. Loosen your grab. Well, this is very interesting. I did it. Thank you very much. Let me give this back to you. Thank you very much. Well, it's actually very easy because I'm doing this for the first time, and this is a live streaming program. I'm a little bit nervous. I had a little accident, but I believe with some simple trainings you can iron your clothing with this steamer. So, well, bear in mind that those robots, they are still at the training period, and so when the training ends, you don't need to go through any practice, and you don't need any remote control, and all those robots, they can do that on their own. So you don't need the handle, you don't need the remote control anymore. So here we have a meeting room, and so you can see that we are placing, we're setting the table, and you can see we have a lot of folders and nameplates placed on the table, and you can see that our robots are working in a very meticulous manner, and they can say to it that everything is well aligned, and this is something that we require high precision and zero error. And we even have a workers' union room. So this is a robot that can help you get your stationery sorted down a table. Well, this is all to the benefit of those who are lazy, because the robot can help get things done in a much easier way. And let's take a look at our robots, and they are truly making sure that everything is in order. Fantastic. And so as we mentioned that we have 23 different scenes. So what are the other scenes that our audiences haven't thought about? So we have a biolaboratory. Well, it sounds very dangerous. We design robots because we want the robots to do the most dangerous part of the work. For example, if you are in a laboratory of biology and chemistry, and you can truly use a lot of robots. This one, for example, is doing an experiment, and so it's actually heating up distilled water. So we have 14 scenarios on this floor, and we also have some scenarios that are supported by academicians. And now I'm gonna show you the digital operation center. So you have just seen some data collection experiment, and all the data will be feedback to the backstage, which is the smart brain of the computer. So we have two big screens. Tell us something about the screen. So this is the dashboard, and you can see the data collected on a real-time basis. And so this is the animation showing what types of data is being collected. Can give us a live demo. No problem. So you saw the robot just now. It actually has 3 cameras on its face and on both of its hand. And the 3 footages that you can see are real time. So this image is shot by the camera on the face, and then the rest are taken by the cameras on both hands. And you can see that we have a real-time data analysis, and each and every minute we can collect 300 to 500 lines of information and data. And so we have clean data. We also have data that are not so clean, so we can eradicate the not so clean data, and we put all the data into different categories, and it's just fantastic. So here we learn better what is data analysis, and this is a visualized way, and we have a flow chart about data collection. So this is giving you a graphic visual about the process of data collection. So this is like the brain of data collection. So this is the place where you gather all the data and analyze the data. So after learning all those different tasks, we are gonna put the robots on a test just to make sure that whether they can put into practice what they have learned. Well, the competition is also very fierce among robots. So how do you conduct the test? Well, I'm gonna take you to the demonstration center, and the first part is about garbage cleaning. So you don't need any human operators using a remote control to operate those robots, and the robots, they can do that on their own. So traditionally this is done relying on a human person, but now when we're talking about the examination of the robots, they have to sit in the exam on their own and finish the test. So we talked about the collection of garbage and the handling of garbage disposal. So we're gonna see how one of the examinees perform in such a test. So I can see that this is our examinee, and let's change our angle of the camera, and maybe you can tell us how the robot will do. All right, so you can see that the robot is identifying the garbage on the desk, and you can maybe put your cell phone on the desk. Well, this is making the whole thing a lot more challenging. All right, you can see that the robot is not dumping my cell phone. All right, so he's very smart, so he can tell the difference between a cell phone and a piece of garbage. So you can see that he has this kind of knowledge in his brain, so he won't dump my cell phone as the garbage. Fantastic. I think I can give him 100 points. So what is the second examinee? Well, the second examinee can make some tea for you, and we saw how a robot can make coffee, and now this is a tea serving ceremony. All right, the examination starts. Well, can I make it more difficult? Yes, no problem. So you can see that he's grabbing the handle of the teapot, and can it pour the water into the bottle? Well, I'm nervous. Look, he's doing this very well, and after that he has to put it back. Well, let me just change the place of the mattress and make it hard for him. All right, can I still change the position of the mattress? Yes. All right, you can see he is Well, he is getting that, and he's putting the kettle on the right place. All right. All right, you can see that he's gonna repeat this process, and more training is needed, and I don't think he will pass this, and I gave him only maybe 59. So now let's have a race between human and robots, and see who is faster in aligning these toys. And maybe you can go first. This is a chess play, 5 in a row. I've determined where to drop my next chess. All right, maybe I'll go this way. He can even blink his eyes. All right, you have blocked me, and how about I go this way? I think you have a competitive edge, and I have to be smarter. All right, it looks like a draw. Well, I need to reorganize the whole thing. I need to consider what's my next move is. You're so smart, you can block my moves. All right, this is the draw. Well, this is the draw, and let's celebrate our friendship. Fantastic. Well, I think he has passed this exam. And do we have any next stop, or is this the final stop? So this is the final stop. Well, I believe after this brief tour, you haven't truly got enough. And so this is just like the CMG World Robot Competition. So we want to focus on intelligence and march into the future. And we have multiple scenarios: officing, manufacturing, and laboratory. And we have truly got a taste of human-robot integration and interaction. And for more of the robot intelligence, stay tuned to CMG World Robot Competition. And in August, we're going to present the opening ceremony. And so this will be broadcast live on CMG Science and Technology and CGTN. And all right, this is all to today's program. Thank you very much for your patience. And until next time, bye.